Titans reporter Turron Davenport, and you are tuned into the Titans Upload Network.
Whether it's the regular season or the off-season, we have you covered as we give you the best Tennessee Titans and NFL news and insight that a fan could ask for. You're watching the Titan Upload Network.
What is going on, Titan Nation? We're back in business. Me and James, we've both been on vacation. Upload's been on vacation. He had a show the other day, but we're back, and training camp is just like a week away. I think it starts the 25th, so like 9 days away. Or 11. My math is off. 11 days away. So, yeah, I'm super stoked about training camp, and what all is going on with the Titans, man. We're happy to be back. We're going to be dropping the content, especially when training camp starts. We'll definitely be pumping out the content on the network here for sure, covering all that. Been fighting tooth and nail to get some type of press pass into training camp. I've gone back and forth with the Titans, and just kind of drop that out there to you guys. I have been going back and forth in emails with the Titans, with the PR guy. I'm not going to say his name, but I have gone back and forth. He has not told me an official no yet. If you're watching out there, Mr. PR guy, I'm not going to say your name. We'd love to come out, man. Like I said, even if it's just for one practice, one camp practice, whatever else, maybe a temporary press pass or whatever, but we are trying to get in there, folks. I do believe we deserve it. We've been doing this for a few years now and putting in a ton of work, and building this thing up. Over 17,000 subscribers. I mean, we're one of the top YouTube channels in the game, maybe second or something, which we don't boast about that, but it is what it is. And a lot of that's because of our fans and our subscribers and all that. So we're trying to get in there. James knows about it. We're trying to make this happen. It'd be a cool thing, but if not, we'll still be pumping out the content on it. So James, man, how you doing, brother? How's everything going for you?
Man, just getting back in town, got back in town last week. Just trying to keep it crack-a-lacking, talking to people off and on, just getting a feel for what they think, how things are going. Just trying to spend some time with my son here, And man, I tell you what, he broke his finger yesterday, or what was it? Yesterday. He broke his finger yesterday. We spent a bunch of time at the doctor yesterday, and then over at the hospital trying to get an X-ray of his finger, and it turned the first time it was his left middle finger, and I'm like, you had to break the one finger, and the first X-ray didn't look like it was broken, and then they did the side view. Oh, yeah, you can see right now. I was like, yeah, it's broke.
That's tough, man. And
Yeah.
James's son Xavier, he's the kid's kind of a phenom. Shout out to Xavier. I mean, he's out there killing it in every sport, pretty much. I mean, he could probably play cricket if he wanted to. Who knows? The kid is talented, and I still have yet to see him play. I wanna catch him play sometime or watch him play. But yeah, I mean, the kid's skilled, and hopefully, prayers out to him and a quick recovery, and maybe he can play with that finger. Who knows? So
I hope so. It's on his left hand, so it's not his throwing hand, and it's so hopefully it'll be mitigated a little bit. But he's out there
Right.
grind, and the thing is, he broke it before it was a 7-on-7 games. He broke it before the first game and played all 3 games.
Golly. And didn't the kid play with like a hurt knee or something? You were telling me about that.
Yeah, he fractured. I believe it was his ankle. He fractured a small bone in his ankle, and went ahead and played. This was several years ago, and went ahead and played on it because it was the last game. And he said, "I'm not coming out, Dad. I'm not coming out." I was like, "Okay." Okay, bro.
Yeah, to be young again, right? So anyways, the Titans, as we all know, and before I say this, and I'm not going to go into anything about this at all. It's whatever you think is whatever you think, but obviously these are unprecedented times in this country right now. We see what's going on, and just prayers out to everybody affected by it. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, whatever you believe, you believe. I think it's important that we unite either way, but whatever that may be. But I just wanted to put that out there because obviously that's front and center. You pull over in the news, everything is about that. But that's why we have this channel, because we can come and talk football. That's what we're all about. The Titans, that's what we believe in here. Titans 2024. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm excited about that. But James, the Jamal Adams signing, like a lot of people with Jamal Adams, a lot of people have wanted Justin Simmons. Like they have talked about this. We talked about this for months. People talking about why are they not bringing Justin Simmons in? And all of a sudden, and Jamal Adams has not really been mentioned in the Titans, like rumor mills or anything like that. It's just like poof, all of a sudden, Titans signed Jamal Adams. Now it's a 1-year prove it deal. It's a very small number. It's not anything that's really going to hurt us as far as financially. But you think about Jamal Adams, and you go back to a few years ago where he had a couple years where he was a Pro Bowler, All Pro. He had like 9 sacks one year, the most sacks ever by an NFL safety in a season. He's not had a lot of interceptions in his career. He's had 4 total interceptions. Not really a big pass coverage guy as much as he is a hitter, nose to the ball. But the last couple years, you could see, and these are PFF grades. They are not the end all be all. PFF is wrong a lot of the times. But last year, he ranked, it was like, let me see here. I got this. It was 86 out of 95 as far as in the safety position. Or no, I think in the safety position. 86 out of 95 safeties. It was his ranking last year, according to PFF. So, I mean, the past couple years, he got traded to Seattle, and it was kind of a disappointing thing. Like when he was with the Jets, he was balling out. People were stoked. He goes to Seattle, gets the big deal, and Seahawks fans have not been happy with Jamal Adams. So, kind of break this down for me, James. Like, in your opinion, is this a good signing? Is it a bad signing? And just, just explain why on both ends, whatever you believe.
Okay. For those of you who want a guy out there making, 7, 8 interceptions a year, this is not a good sign. That's not what he is. He's kind of a tweener. Like he's one of those guys that can play safety. It can play inside linebacker. He's one of those guys. He's kind of a hybrid. What in basketball we call it positionless basketball. In the NFL, he's kind of they call him a tweener, but he's kind of a hybrid between a safety and an inside linebacker. So if you're looking for something other than that, no, this is not a good sign. However, I believe it's a great sign.
Okay.
And the reason why is because the defense that we're going to be running is being ran by Steve Jackson. And Jamal Adams has a lot of experience with Steve Jackson, who is our which is our secondaries coach. He's got a lot of experience with Frank Bush, who's our linebackers coach, and our defensive coordinator, Denard Wilson. They all were at the Jets together when Jamal Adams had his second best season. His best season was in Seattle, but his
first season in Seattle.
Yeah. So he knows what they want from this defense. Okay. He knows exactly where he needs to be, how he needs to be there. And it's great because once again, players talk player and coaches talk coach. He's the guy who's going to be on the field telling these guys, hey, look, you're in the wrong position. You need to be looking at this, not that. Okay. Coaches can't be everywhere all at once. But, Jamal Adams is going to be in the thick of it. He's going to be able to see that. He's going to be kind of like the guy, the guy on the field who's coaching. Okay. If you're looking for your younger players to get better in this defense, this is an excellent sign. This is an outstanding sign because he knows how the linebackers are supposed to play and he knows how the safeties are supposed to play and he knows how that's integrated into the entire defense. So when you're looking for that, whoa, there's not a better signing out there. And then the fact that he's comfortable and familiar with all three and they're comfortable and familiar with him makes the transition into this defensive style a lot smoother. Okay. What I've been hearing is that the defensive install was going a little slower than expected and wanted. So they needed somebody to come in, and people, what are the two things that we're both short on in this, on this defensive team? Linebacker and safety.
Safety, yeah.
And if you got a guy that can do both, now I'm not going to say he's all pro in both, but he's above average in both. Okay. If you got a guy that can do both, doesn't that make your secondary and your safeties better and your linebackers better? Because you can throw him out there as a linebacker or you can throw him out there as a safety. Is he going to be able to cover? Is he a coverage type of guy? No, he's not. But can he cover in a pinch? Absolutely. Can he, and is he really good on the run? On run defense?
Right.
Outstanding in run defense.
Right. And, when you look at the depth chart, Adams has played at free safety, he's played at strong safety. And I updated this today with all the new camp names and everything else. Of course, I got Jamal Adams, but of course, Amani Hooker is the strong safety. He's been the starting strong safety. So, I guess, what is their plan for Jamal Adams? And Elijah Molden, is Molden going to kind of stay in there at free safety and Jamal Adams going to kind of be like this fill-in kind of, like you said, tweener guy, like a linebacker / safety? They're going to split time because I don't know. It just seems like your free safety should be the guy that's the coverage guy, but Elijah Molden doesn't really strike me as that type of guy either. So I don't know. It just seems confusing as to what his role is going to be. And are we talking about like a starter role for him?
I think he will start. I don't know how long he will start. Once people start getting, once the other guys start acclimating to how this defense operates and what this defense is supposed to look like. I don't know if he's going to, but I think he's going to be heavily rotated no matter what.
Right.
And if you're confused about what he's going to be doing, okay, and we've watched a lot of film, you've seen a lot of games, enough about enough about football to know that I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. And you hear that all over the place. Do you think these defensive coordinators are going to know what he's in there for? Is he going to be blitzing? Is he going to be playing? Right. Is he really an inside linebacker in this play? Is he really a safety on this play? Imagine if you have all the safeties in. You have Jamal Adams in, Elijah Molden in. Think about that situation. Are they playing three high safeties, or is one of them going to drop down into the linebacker? Right. Is someone going to be blitzing off the corner? Is he really going to be in coverage, or is he coming off the corner? Those are the things that you got to kind of, as an offensive coordinator, you got to be thinking about. Okay, and as a quarterback, you're out there thinking, okay, this guy's dangerous when he comes off that edge, and he's dangerous. So what do you do? As thinking from an offensive coordinator side, this is a very dangerous defense when he's in there because you don't know where he's coming from. You don't know what he's doing. This could be a very tricky defense with the right lineup and the right philosophy behind it.
And Stoner Titan, you said You said maybe Denard will somehow bring Jamal in his prime, stop being negative, and then right below, and I love you, Stoner Titan. Don't get mad at me, but right below you says Sweat is a bust. We're in big trouble. Right below that, you said Latham is a right tackle. We need a left tackle. This is why the team could fall in flames. This team is down. But you told us to stop being negative. But I don't. So I'm kind of. I love you, man, but I'm kind of confused by your comments. But no, we're not being negative about Jamal. I'm simply asking James. James seems pretty high on him, and I just don't know much about Jamal Adams. I've not seen him play a lot. I've seen highlights where he's been a baller and he's been a dog out there. Like I've seen some of the plays he's made. Obviously, his Jamal Adams like 3 years ago when he was like that first year with Seattle. And then his going in 2019, 2020, when he was an all-pro, that dude was all up in the news. I mean, all up on ESPN all the time. I mean, 9.5 sacks in 2020 was first year with Seattle. For whatever reason, the next year he plays 2021, doesn't have a terrible year. He has 87 tackles, no sacks, 2 interceptions. But 2022 he was injured. 2023 he had 48 tackles. So and he said on the news or an interview that he really wants to prove it this year. Like this is the year he wants his get back, basically. And you're right. I mean, playing with those coaches, Denard Wilson, Steve, who'd you say? Steve Jackson.
Steve Jackson,
yeah.
and Frank Bush.
Frank Bush, yeah. So if there's any coaches that could bring him back to those glory days, then you would think it would be those guys.
And that's when he had kind of like his most success in his trajectory was going up.
Right.
And you also have to remember that Seattle kind of changed their defensive philosophy. When Jamal Adams is allowed to roam around that backfield and work off his keys, man, I tell you, bruh, he's tough, man. He really is, because he's so unpredictable. And that's when he is at his best, is when you don't know where he's coming from. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know if he's going back in coverage or what. But and that's why he's that kind of tweener guy. Free safety / linebacker kind of guy, because that's when he's dangerous.
Right.
And these guys brought the best out of him because they allowed him to roam. They allowed him to do those things, allowed him to make off-script plays that wreaked havoc on an offense.
Let's kind of look at the comparisons. Jamal Adams, Elijah Molden, Justin Simmons. So you got Jamal Adams. Now this is a kind of a PFF. These are all from last season. So you might have to kind of, zoom in there a little bit. But I can't zoom in. You guys might have to. But he played 274 snaps. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Jamal, I got the wrong one here. Never mind. Anyways, I guess I don't have Adams on there. I meant to put Adams on there. Elijah Molden, he played 274 snaps at free safety. He was ranked 86 out of 95. That was him. It wasn't Adams that was ranked 86. I'll have to pull Adams up here. Let me pull Adams up real quick. I could probably get that on the screen.
He is he's one of these guys that's, I feel adds just the right complement to these guys, because some of these younger players, they need direction on how this, is supposed to work. And he's the kind of guy to teach them. He's been there, done that,
And what do you think? How do you feel about Elijah Molden?
Elijah Molden, I don't think he's reached his full potential yet. I think he's another one of these guys who's kind of a tweener guy. He's what I can't remember. He's 5'10", 192. And I think 5'10" is a little generous, but the 192 I'd buy. I think he could be kind of like Jamal Adams when Jamal was actually at his best, but
Right.
he's never been given that opportunity um, to kind of roam and wreak havoc and stuff like that. So I think that is the kind of thing that they're hoping to get, to get some of these players into doing. This is it's supposed to be kind of like this defense should be kind of like a mass chaos, an organized chaos type thing, right? Where it's so unpredictable that offenses really don't know what to do.
Right.
You give them one look, and yeah, sometimes they come with that look. Sometimes they go with another traditional look, and sometimes you have no clue what they just did because it's not in any playbook anywhere.
What do you think Wilson's defense is going to be like? I mean, is it going to be more of a coverage type defense? Is it going to be, because I mean, you're bringing in guys like Adams who have been kind of sack specialists or whatever. What do you feel about his defense? How it's going to play out?
It's going to be a pressure, and then some more pressure.
Right.
The question isn't whether or not they're going to pressure you. The question is going to be, where's it going to come from? And those tend to be the best defenses in the NFL. And those have traditionally been the best defensive in the NFL. So when you're confused about what's going on and how it's going on, you spend less, you have a lot less time to set up a type of offense that can expose some of those weaknesses because it's so varied based on play, down and distance, and sometimes it's just an ad lib,
Right.
So I think you're going to see a lot of twists, stunts. I think you're going to see a lot of pressure coming from the inside, then from the outside, then kind of pressure from both the inside and outside, and then you got then you take Adam, or then you take guys like Jeffrey Simmons and Sweat and what is his name? We just picked him up. Sneed, who loves to be a ball hawk. You take those guys, and all of a sudden you're making bad throws because the pressure's coming faster than you think. It's not coming from where you think it's coming from, and you end up with Sneed and Awuzie with a lot of interceptions because of the pressure. And it may not show up in the stat lines of Jamal Adams or Jeffrey Simmons or Sweat, but it's going to show up, in your corners, not having to cover quite as long.
Right. And yeah, I finally got this graphic here, but yeah, no, I was showing Molden. So Molden, this is according to PFF, but Molden played 274 snaps at free safety, 198 snaps at slot cornerback, 222 in the box. This is 2023. You could see he played 460 passing snaps, 240 rushing snaps. And it's showing his career grades there. He actually did a lot better in 2022. Now in 2022, he was mainly a slot cornerback. He made the move to kind of free safety this past season. He's got a decent run grade from last year. It's not decent, it's okay, but he was 86 out of 95 safeties according to PFF. Now we go to Adams here. Adams was 88th, so he's 2 spots behind Molden. Now, he didn't play as many snaps. He played 85 snaps at free safety, 183 in the slot cornerback, 208 in the box. He played 28 snaps on the D line. So, his pass rush grade is third out of 17 in safeties for 2023. So, I mean, they were still lining him up and running. Now, he didn't get, I don't think he had any sacks last year, but he had a ton of pressures. I think that's where you're really kind of getting your value there. And like you said, I mean, if they're the issues on this team is inside linebacker. Now, we'll kind of go to Justin Simmons because this is a lot of people really wanted Simmons. Now, Simmons, He's been good. I mean, he's been consistently good his whole career. Last year he was 42nd, so he was kind of middle of the pack. 67.9. He was primarily a free safety, so 594 slots, played the full season. And I want to go back to some of these comments here because somebody made a comment about Simmons that I saw. The reason why Simmons has not gotten signed by anybody yet, which you think Simmons would be, is Pohill says Simmons priced himself out of playing this season. Could be the case. I mean, I'm sure somebody will eventually pick up the guy. But I don't know. I mean, if you have this shot at Justin Simmons, why pass on a guy? Like, why not bring him in for a workout? Why not see what he's got? Because it seems like he would bring more tools to the table over Adams. But
is
they
he
didn't
bringing the
coach
right?
him either.
Yeah, but is he bringing the right tools? I mean,
right?
I can go to a construction site and bring bring a bulldozer, and that's not going to do us any good if we're building a house.
Right.
You know, if we're framing a house right then, a bulldozer is not going to do us a whole lot of good. But if I bring a hammer, yeah, it may not be a one of those pneumatic one of those pneumatic nailers, but it'll still get the job done.
Right.
Right. But you also may have someone there who's young that doesn't know how to use a pneumatic hammer, but has one. I can teach them how to use that hammer while I'm using my regular hammer. You
Right.
got to have the right tools for the defense that you're going to be playing. And Jamal Adams has the right tools. He's played in it, and he knows what, the builders, which is Denard Wilson, Steve Jackson, and Frank Bush. He knows what they want built. He knows how it is built. So just because you've got a lot of, just because you got a lot of tools doesn't mean they're the right tools.
Right. That's a great point. And I mean, you always have the awesome analogies. So I mean, that's a great point, man. And Johnny says that to fully understand the Adams deal, look at the family and the business connections. Maurice Carthon and George Adams played together for the New York Giants. Rand Carthon and Adams have the same agent too. And then, of course, the coaching connections. I mean, obviously, Denard Wilson and Steve Jackson and Fred. I can't even remember the Fred guy's last name. Frank Bush. Frank Bush. There you go. So yeah. I mean, I'm excited about him. I mean, there's a lot of people saying he's washed and this and that, but I mean, Jamal Adams is 28. He plays the safety position. Usually safeties make it a good while in this league. So, I mean, typically they do. So, but he's been a more physical safety. Yeah. So, I mean, that could have, kind of limited his years, maybe some, but I'm excited to see what he could do, man. It's a what do you call it? I mean, it's a low contract. It's a high risk type of thing. If he does great, he does great, and we win. I mean, that's with I think it's $1.25 million or something like that contract.
I mean, the whole point of I think the whole point. I have no inside knowledge of this. I have no connections that have told me this, but I think the whole point of this was really to help them get this install done quickly. Get some of these younger players acclimated to what he wanted to do. And this is the guy that can do it. He can keep reinforcing it, holding people accountable, things like that. Yeah, the coaches review the plays and review the tape after practice and all that kind of stuff. But there's nothing like someone, as you're doing something wrong, right there at you, say, hey, no, you're supposed to have done this instead of that. You did that, and it's immediate correction, as opposed to, oh, we saw this on the film yesterday. Play 26, you did this and you should have done, as opposed to, Hey, yo, you in the wrong place. Why are you in the wrong place right there? You know you're supposed to be over there. Oh, bro, I'm sorry. It's a very different thing, and it's a very different thing from coaches holding you accountable to other players holding you accountable. And Jamal Adams is the kind of guy who's going to be out there and he's going to be in your face because he wants success again. He wants to prove
Yeah.
that he's
I
still
like his
relevant.
attitude, man. I like his attitude and the way he plays. We got a $10 super chat from Stanley Wilson. Man, Stanley, you were too kind to us. We got to give you the touchdown Titan from Mike Keith. For some fans' sake, I hope these moves from the draft and free agency don't work out since they hate most of them so bad. Because if they do, ... Yeah, man. No, I hope they do, man. I hope, I'm gonna touch on Sweat here in a minute too. That's been a big thing of this off season. But I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat too. Over Chicken, thanks for tuning in, brother. I see you out there. We got some Texans fans, we got a Jaguars fan in here, of course, XD Gamers in here. Shout out to him. We got some the Jags fans and Texan fans going at it in the chat, going back and forth. There's some crazy Texans fans in here, but hey, we welcome everybody. Mr. JJ, he's talking all types of crap towards us Titans fans in here, but that's all good, man, because we'll see come season time who's going to own the South again. I mean, is the Houston Texans one-hit wonders? Is Stroud going to have a sophomore slump? I mean, you never know, man. You can't just base a whole second season off one season from a rookie. I mean, he's got to do it again. So I don't know.
Well, the thing about the reason why, especially with quarterbacks, there's a sophomore slump is that they start, these coaches start digging into these quarterbacks, right? They start, oh, he didn't do this well, he didn't, he can't run to the left and then flip his hips and throw back or something like that. This is, that's the reason why these coaches. Hey, these coaches in the NFL are no joke, yo. They gonna figure out what you don't do well and make you do it all the time.
Right.
They're gonna find the hole in the game. Everybody has a hole in the game. Even the best quarterbacks to ever play, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, you name them, they had holes in their game.
Right.
So, so I think this coaching staff, I don't think the Titans are going to be in the cellar of the AFC South. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't either, man. I don't either.
I mean, how do I say this? Okay, I'm just going to say it like I say it, okay? This offensive line can't get much worse than it was last year and the year before. It just can't.
I hope you're right.
I
don't think it can either, man.
Rossi, me and you could go out there and block someone better than some of these dudes, man.
I'm telling you, dude.
They were just like, Olay. I mean, you would have thought they were bullfighting out there.
I know. And no, I mean, I think they are already considerably looking better. And I mean, the fact that they got one of the best offensive line coaches to ever coach in this league. I'm excited about that dude, man. Like he's one of the best to ever do it. And to have a guy like that, I think just having him, if you had him last year, who knows, the line probably would have been better. But bringing in some of the players that they brought in, Lloyd Cushenberry, dude, is not a lot of people talk about this signing around the league. Like, Lloyd Cushenberry was one of the best centers in football. He's been one of the best centers in football over the last few years. That was a massive signing, massive upgrade from what was his name? Who was our center? Aaron Brewer, who was constantly getting smashed, and somehow he got a big payday in Miami, which blows my mind. And then I
want his.
It's crazy.
I want his agent.
I know, right? Like, hey, man. And then of course you got Latham, who's out there looking like a monster already. I think Latham's going to be just fine. And then you got right tackle still kind of up in the air, but as of right now, most people are saying Petit Frere is going to get that opportunity again, with Callahan, with Daddy Callahan being the coach, the offensive line coach. But they brought in guys like Leroy Watson. You got some of these camp guys. John Ajokwu's a guy who's been mentioned a ton. They really love him a lot. So I think it's going to kind of be a battle there a little bit at right tackle. And then you got Peter Skoronski, of course, will be the starting left guard. I think he's going to kill it this year. And Daniel Brunskill, serviceable right guard. Now, Dylan Radin said himself, and I might have the clip here, which I thought was interesting. We'll just show it real quick. Dylan Radin said he is playing guard. That's what he's going to play.
Yeah, it's been good. Learning a lot from Bill. Obviously, there's a lot of wisdom and experience there. He's been around the league a long time and coached a lot of great football players. So obviously, it's been good just learning from him. And yeah, I'm just striving to be a starter. Obviously, I want that spot. So that's what I'm going to try to do. That's what I'm striving to do, and see what happens.
So talk about you playing guard. I mean, how good is it to be able to lock in at one spot and just sharpen your skills there?
Yeah, that's where I've been working out mostly this off season, and like I said, being able to learn from Bill at that one spot has just been awesome. I've learned a lot so far, and it's going well.
My bad. How early in the process did it become evident that that was going to be your focus?
I think the first time I sat down with Bill, I think that was kind of the conversation we had, just moving to guard and working predominantly at guard and stuff. And I mean, I know I can play other positions as well, but just being able to focus on one is pretty nice.
As a result of that, did that kind of impact? Cause you look like you're physically bigger, stronger. Did that impact that decision?
So, obviously Bill came in and was like, dude, you're playing guard. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. So before he had came out and said this, we were talking about Radin's maybe being the right tackle, but obviously he's going to be guard. And honestly, man, I'm kind of excited to see what Radin's can do at the guard position.
And it was something that we talked about a lot too, is the fact that his head's got to be swimming from all the different positions they had him at: left guard, left tackle, right guard, right tackle. I mean, come on. Right. I mean, you can see his body language when they asked him about being able to concentrate on one position. He kind of smiled and was like, yeah, that's nice.
Right.
And it is nice. And I think that given time, proper coaching, that he could, wherever they decide to put him at, he could excel in it, because I think he has the athleticism to play tackle or guard. But I think he's a little he's a little small at guard right now. So he's going to have to put on a little bit more weight, I think, and he's going to have to put in a little bit more strength to anchor that. But it's nice to be able to sit down, evaluate things, and go, okay, I'm going to have to put on 20 pounds, or I'm not sure if what's the the difference is, am I going to have to put on 20 pounds to play guard, or do I need to keep the weight off to play tackle?
Right.
You don't know which one which one you have to do. And it's nice.
Right. And, when it comes to that right tackle position, man, like that's the one thing that worries me, I think, more than anywhere else on the line, because I'm not worried about like the guard position. I feel like that between Radins and Brunskill, like they can hold that spot down. Like I'm even maybe more excited about seeing what Radins can do there. Like, he's younger, he's quicker than Brunskill, you know what I mean? I mean, Brunskill didn't play terrible. Like he wasn't, he was probably one of our better offensive linemen, which is sad. That just shows you how bad our offensive line was last year. But for the position he plays, it's not absolutely terrible. But I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on that right tackle spot?
Well, let's pull up and see who we got there right now. We got Petit Frere, which I don't know. I really am unsure about him. But I think that he's serviceable. I think uh, Petit Frere is serviceable. Now, if there's anybody that can change a guy from serviceable to good, it's Callahan. Bill has that ability. But you also have to remember that if you can anchor the left side, which I think the left side is going to be pretty well anchored, and you can anchor the center, you can slide help to the right side. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of slide some help to that side, which is put your tight end over there. You got Josh Wally you can stick in over there. Chigakonkwo that you can stick over there and maybe chip a little bit to make it to make it a little bit easier set when you're going
They
out.
brought in that Nick Vanette guy,
Yeah,
I think
Vanette,
from the Raiders. He's a guy that's pretty good blocker.
So I think there are a lot of things that you can do if you're not worried about both sides. If you're not worried about left tackle and right tackle, if you can just anchor either one of those, you can slide help to the other side, but you can't slide help to both sides. So,
Right.
I think that is where the value in instead of having to worry about 4 positions, left tackle, center, right guard, and left guard, or right guard and right tackle. Now you only have to kind of worry about your right tackle that you've already gotten better.
Yeah.
And I think your defense can get a lot better. I mean, an absolute tremendous leap if they're not on the field for, if they're not on the field for an hour.
Yeah.
If you're not 3 and out, 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 interception, fumble, if you're not doing that and you can keep them off the field some and keep them a little rested, I think your defense gets a lot better. And then I also think that just the synergy of playing enough together that this offensive line begins to gel, your offense gets better because at wide receiver, you got some issues. I mean, at wide receiver, you a defensive coordinator, you got some issues. You got some it's going to be a Tom's week. So I think all of those things combined, I think this team does get a lot better.
Right.
So offensive line, I'm not as concerned. I am like you concerned at right tackle. I really am. But with the knowledge that I can slide a little help because I'm not worried about, basically any other position on that offensive line, I feel a lot better about it. Indigestion to what are we gonna do there? And, there's a difference.
Right.
I'm sitting here working myself up into an ulcer, worried about the offensive line, and now I'm just like, it's gonna be interesting what they do there. There's a huge difference there.
And I pulled up Raiden's breakdown from last season, and he had a pretty good season. I mean, run block grade 78.7, 10th out of 79 tackles. He was ranked 10th. Offense grade 41st out of 81 tackles. Pass block wasn't too great. But him playing guard, I think that's gonna make a big difference. And like I said, Bill Callahan, man, like having that dude is makes a world of difference. And I'm excited about that, man. And like the Power said, make sure you tighten up that like button and subscribe. We've got 50 people in here on YouTube. We've got 249 people watching right now total. Now, a lot of you guys are watching from X. If you're on X, come on over here. If you want to participate in the chat, you got to come over here from X and do it. It won't let you do it on there, but drop us a like if you can. If you're on X, just click the link there. It's embedded there. Just click the link and come drop us a like. Been a good show tonight. We've had a good crowd. We had a lot of comments, got a lot of fans talking trash. We are starting up the AFC Roundtable again in August. I think August 5th. I will be a part of that again. So I need my Titans fans. I know last year we didn't win much. They did a poll a lot of the times during the shows, like, what team are you repping? I was usually around the 12 to 15% range, just because that has a lot to do with just our win-loss record. But I think this year it's going to be a lot better, and I need you guys to show up for me in there, and the network is part of that AFC Roundtable. I saw Morocco in here from the Titans Coliseum. What's up, Morocco? They've been doing a lot of good stuff over there, so go follow the Titans Coliseum. We'll have to get those guys back on the show. Yeah, Leonard, RJ, Morocco. Shout out to all you guys over there, man. They're
I got a question for you. Okay, we've talked about all of this. Where do you think Burks lands on that wide receiver group? Where do you think he ends up?
I mean, I think as of right now, like, this is kind of what I got. Like, this is kind of my list. Ridley 1, Hop 2, Boyd obviously 3, the slot guy. I think Burks falls in that 4th spot. I mean, there is no reason why Burks should not be getting more playing time than NWI. Like, considering the skill, the talent level, like, I understand the injuries, but Burks being a 4th round pick, asking him to be the 4th guy is not that big of a reach. And he is so much bigger, faster, stronger, quicker than NWI. Like, and look, no shade on NWI. Like, the guy has done everything he can. He's fought in this league. He's made a lot of good plays for the Titans. Yep. But Burks is just a total upper echelon athlete. And this is his year, man. I think this is Burks' year to finally show, because he has the pressure. Yes, he has the pressure, but it's not quite as big of a pressure because you're not asking him to go out there and be A.J. Brown like they were when they traded. I just thought it was an unfair thing. Yes, I get that Burks where he was drafted, but I feel like he got a raw deal in the beginning, because it's like, the Titans fans, we were all ticked off that they traded AJ. Then you draft a receiver that's built like AJ, and everybody's like, oh, he needs to be AJ right away. I mean, imagine the pressure on that. I mean, and AJ Brown's been one of the best receivers in the league over the past 4 seasons. So it's like, I just think it was an unfair thing from the beginning, but now is his time. And I really think Burks has an opportunity to really hone his craft and to be that guy. So for me, it's the 4th spot. I will not accept anything other than the 4th spot with Burks. I will not accept less snaps than NWI. If he's getting less snaps than NWI, I think that's a problem.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I think that I think Burks, he's got to, first of all, he's got to stay on the field. He's got to stay healthy. Second, I think Burks is one of these guys that, this, if I'm not mistaken, this is a contract year for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a contract year. You want to get a player to play good, tell him it's a contract year, and
I think it is, right? Is it his 3rd season?
I think this is a contract year for him.
His 3rd season. He was, what, does he get the 5th round option or something?
I don't remember.
But no, I mean, even if it isn't, it's his last year. Like, this is his last chance, like, regardless.
At least with the Titans. Now,
with the Titans, yes.
Given his size and his upside, somebody will give him, somebody will give him a shot somewhere else. But this is the year that you make your money. This is your money.
We love you, Lou.
This is your money maker. This is your money maker year. But I've got this sinking feeling that if Burks doesn't get out there and he doesn't learn from these veteran great wide receivers that we've brought in, that he'll never learn.
Right.
And, and you showed that one clip of Burks catching that ball. I think it was a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Hey, he's got some gears. He's got some different speeds that he can play at. And when you got these guys out there, Calvin Ridley, D-Hop, I mean, geez, Louise, those guys are bona fide, legit, 100%
Yeah, man.
players. They out there playing. They ain't out there, and this guy has to, these guys out here, out there in that wide receiver group, they ball hawks. They want the ball.
Yeah.
And he's got to stop, goofing off, playing around, or whatever he's been doing over the last few years. It may be that he just hadn't been coached up. I mean, it is what it is. Our last coaching staff, they really didn't develop guys that didn't, they didn't really develop guys. This coaching staff, I think, can develop guys. So, he's going to have to go out there and ball out. It's either ball out or get out. That's the way it is. It's, you can't, there ain't no half stepping in this game today. You got a lot in NWI. The thing about NWI that I know everybody talks about him but the thing about NWI is he's consistent.
He is, yeah.
He's always there. He's always, he may not always be open when you want him, but he will get open. He's consistent.
Right.
The problem is do you have enough time? Is your offensive line going to hold enough time for your quarterback to not get killed and get him the ball? But, that's the reason why I think, consistency is just something that is very difficult to make a name at unless you don't have anything else. And unless your team has no other choices but to go to you because they know you're going to be consistently open. That's the problem with Burks.
Right.
Just not consistent at all. One game he may look like all pro, and the next day he may look like he's in the toilet bowl. You don't know.
Do you remember that play he made? I don't know if it was last year or the year before where he tiptoed the sideline, like he caught it on the sideline, tiptoed the sideline, went down for the touchdown. Like,
yeah.
I
want to say it was 2 years ago, but
it might have been, yeah. And it was like, that was when I was like, holy snap, like this dude, like he's got it,
Yeah.
And I think that he's shown flashes of that for sure. Like he's shown flashes of that. And I think that was the one thing that Amy Adams too was really concerned about the last coaching staff was they really wasn't developing the talent that they have. So maybe like Steve brought it up. Is it true? Our last staff had no idea. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you think about it, it seems like a lot of players didn't really take that next step, but who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, hopefully this new coaching staff can get it done because, we need to start winning in Tennessee. We got a new stadium being built. That thing's costing money. We need it going. I mean, it already broken ground. They put the pillars up already and stuff. I mean, that thing is being built right now. I mean, it's right next to the Nissan Stadium there, and it's time to either put up or shut up. I mean, I would say that Amy Adams has a plan in her head where she wants to be back to, winning football now, but especially by the time that stadium's done, she wants to be back to being top in the AFC South, and I think they can be. And it really, a lot of this season coming up, it also depends on Will Levis, man. Like it depends on, can he be that guy? And I like what I see this offseason. I like that, he's taking all the receivers down to Cabo and he's doing all this stuff and he's working out. You see videos of him working out everywhere. And the coaches are saying, the guy is constantly in the building. He's constantly watching film. they're saying basically it's not a lack of effort. Like this dude, or it's not going to be a lack of effort.
Yeah.
This guy is putting in the work. I love hearing that because there's been quarterbacks that we've had in our past that have not put in the work. You know, VY was one of them. I mean, VY was a guy that they said, I mean, he just was not in that film room. The dude had a world of talent too. I mean, VY had some incredible games for us, but I think Will Levis, like, it's not going to be for a lack of effort. It's just going to be for a lack of, he's not consistent enough throwing the football. You know, he's not accurate enough or whatever else, or he makes too many goofs with the ball as far as trying to force it into something. But I don't know, man. Like this season,
it's funny.
Kinda
Is
like
this is
going to be hit or miss.
but it's kind of like this wide receiver core. If you want to get him to not force the ball in, this is not the receiving core. You don't. This is the receiving core. You can probably force a lot of balls into.
You got Ridley Boyd, and Hopkins. Like, dude,
you can force that ball in there.
Dude, I'm telling you, and Boyd is a heck of a receiver. Like, let's not get it twisted, man. Like, he's been in the league a while, but that dude is still producing. Like, he is a primo, one of the best slot receivers in the league for the past 7 or 8 years. You know, I mean, the dude has done it, and Ridley is a baller, man. Like, dude, I was watching film of Ridley a few weeks ago. It's like, dude, that dude is a baller. And then of course, Hop proved it last season. Like, he's still got it, dude. And I think he's still going to have it this year too. And like you said, man, like, just get these guys the ball. Just get the ball to them and you'll be fine.
Yeah, these are the kind of guys you can throw up a 50-50 ball, you know, and it's not really 50-50 when you throw that up there. It's more like, you know, 60-40 or 70-30, they're going to come down with it, you know? So I think this is, you know, maybe one of the best wide receiving cores in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I do too.
But, you know, then you look at the, you know, the defense and you go, if they could just get a little bit more pressure here, if they could just do a little bit of this there, then it takes a lot of pressure off of the secondary. And if it takes a lot of pressure off the secondary, then they're a lot better.
Right.
You know? So I'm going back and forth. I really want to see a little bit more camp footage. I want to see a few other things. Man, come on, bro. You got to help us out. We got to get in there. We got to.
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying hardcore. I really am, dude. I'm trying to get in there. And if I do, you know, you definitely be. If I can get a and one, you definitely be there with me for sure.
You know, I really want to see. It's not just. A lot of people watch the drills and things like that, and they see, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that. But it's also what happens after the drill, right? When you coming back and the players are sitting there, are they all just kind of standing there or whatever, or are they talking and they're, you know, pointing out things, or are they correcting some things with each other, that kind of thing? You know, when that starts happening, that's when you have, you know, you got coach-led teams and you got player-led teams. Player-led teams that are disciplined are always better than a coach-led team that is disciplined.
Right.
Because they hold each other to a different level of accountability than coaches.
Yeah, dude. And I think they really have the right coaches in place to do that.
God.
And
Mr. JJ down here.
Yeah, he's been one of the Houston fans going back and forth with everybody. Yeah, he's been knocking on Levis and all that. But I will see, man. We will see. Like, I'm not sold on the Jaguars. I'm not sold on what's his name, Lawrence. Like, they gave him all this money, dude. Like, I watched Lawrence play last season, not just the 2 games they played us, a few other games. And that guy, there were times where that dude couldn't hit the broadside of a barn and made some of the worst decisions I've seen in a while from a quarterback. And I'm like, dude, like, why are you throwing that guy all this money? Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, but I mean, I don't know. They're doing that with a lot of quarterbacks now. Like a lot of kind of mid quarterbacks, they're just throwing money at them, and it's wild, man. So we'll have to see, man. I mean, I don't think we're going to be last in the division. I'll tell you that. I think we're at least. I think we're going to win. I'm going to go with 9 games. That's kind of what I'm going with. Originally, I said 8 and 9. I'm going to go with 9 with the Adams signing. Like, I think, if we win 9 games, we have a winning season. Like, I would be stoked by that. If we win 10 games, that would be fantastic. We win 10 games, we're in the playoffs. Like, we're at least a wild card. But you never win these.
I'm thinking higher, man. I'm thinking 11.
Yeah, I know, and I hope you're right, dude.
11, 12. I think 11, 12. I think our ceiling is around 13 to 14. If everything goes perfect, it's 13.
Yeah,
14. But
I think to get there, you'd have to really have Levis be lights out. I don't know.
Mayonnaise, Banana Boy. I think he's going. If he gets time, I think he'll be a lot better because I just can't evaluate him off of last year. I just can't. There's no way that I can give him a fair valuation off of what was last year because the offensive line was so bad.
It's hard to, man.
Terrible. And then you can't really evaluate him a lot off of Kentucky, even though I do. I do just because, first of all,
he makes some of the same mistakes as he did there.
But the thing is that it's kind of what I do. I have to take the data set that I have and evaluate somebody. And the data set that I have was, he plays so far. He has yet to have a good offensive line, and you kind of feel sorry for the guy in one way, and in another way, you got to go, well, when he was at Kentucky, he chose Kentucky. And now that he's in NFL, he didn't choose to be on a team with probably a worse offensive line than he was at Kentucky. But but to get it, I think this year I'm going to be able to give him a fair evaluation. And if he played that well with poor offensive lines, you can only think that he's going to play better with better offensive lines.
Right, and I just pray that his health is good and he
got rocked.
Yes, and he's got to learn to pull back. Like that's the thing. Like you ain't gonna do that every season. I mean, he got lucky a couple times there. He rocked a couple people too. Like he freaking Jalen Ramsey, dude. He rocked Jalen Ramsey. Like he cradled him.
He's
cradled him. I was like, dude, like that was one of the best, most amped plays I've ever seen. Like it was awesome. So I don't know.
Figure out he's 6'4", 230, something like that.
Yeah, he's a big dude, man.
He ain't small. So, you better come with some realness to your tackle because if you don't,
do you remember that play where he trucked Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah,
dude, that was freaking awesome, man.
But this season, I think the Titans get a lot better as the season goes on. I think by the third or fourth week, the Titans are okay. Yeah, this is how we're supposed to do this. Okay, yeah, let's roll. And I think by the time they get to the bye and they come out of the bye with Indy. Oh shoot, you got it pulled up. Oh, okay. Let me look here. By the time they come out of the bye in week 5, going into week 6, they're going to be trucking some people.
Yeah,
I really do. I think they're going to be trucking some people, and I think that this right here, keep this, man. Keep this right here, just exactly the way you have it, and then let's compare it when we get down there because I think by the time we get to week 6, week 7, and week 8, I think they split those two.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping this was my original predictions, but it's changed. I'm going to change that now because, like I said, this was 8-9 originally. But I think, if you really go back, and the away games are in black and white on here, but I think, if you can be 2-2 by that bye, like I think I would be happy at being 500 by the bye, because I think it's going to be a slow start. So I would be more than happy being 2-2 when you got Green Bay, Miami, and the Jets all back to back to back right off the rip. That's tough. I mean, Jordan Love is expected to do pretty well this year in Green Bay. And obviously you got Aaron Rodgers. Now, how long is it going to take that team to get acclimated? He played like 10 minutes last season. And then you got Miami, who's going to want payback from last season in Miami Monday night again. It was Monday Night Football last year in Miami. And we had that crazy game where we came back. I was doing the watch party, the first watch party I ever did by myself. And it was nuts. So, I don't know if you can hang tight at 500 by the bye and you kind of get some things going and you get this new coaching staff cooking and things start getting, you might be looking at a pretty competitive team that's kind of on the edge of that wild card spot rolling into whatever, or on the edge of the division. Who knows? I mean, maybe they start really doing well by then. I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what they put out there, though.
I think I think by week 6, you're going to be looking at a team that you go, hey, these are real contenders. And then by the time you get to the last 3 weeks of the season, I think there's going to be a lot of teams out there going, please do not let us have to face the Titans in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, man, for sure. So, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. We thank y'all so much for tuning in. And like I said, the Rossi Report is back. We will be doing this show at least once a week. Once the training camp hits, we'll be doing a lot more shows, me and Upload. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night. Mike's doing a really cool series, the Power Hour, called the Lost Ring series. He's done, I think, 2 of them. Basically, it's just a series on all the teams that should have either won the Super Bowl, made it to the Super Bowl, but tomorrow night it's going to be the 99 Titans. So that's a good one, man. That's the year that the 1 yard, the Music City Miracle. So make sure and tune in to Mike's show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mike and Tyler, the Power Hour here on the Titan Upload Network. Titan Upload has been back too. Training camp hits in about a week and a half. You guys will be putting out content, maybe daily content, and really just rolling on through preseason. I know me and James, we're going to the first preseason game, and shout out to Chad from Twitter, man. He hooked me up with some tickets. So shout out to him, dude. He's an awesome guy. And all those guys at the tailgate that Chad and Jim Lacey and all them people run. But James, man, I appreciate you, dude. It's been a great show tonight. Chat, we appreciate y'all. Get those likes up. And tighten up, everybody.
Peace.
And we will see y'all on the flip side. We appreciate y'all very much. Tighten up, folks. See you next time.
Keep it real.
What's up, everybody? This is ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter Turron Davenport, and you are tuned into the Titans Upload Network.